Hi there, this is Sue. I am in the process of working on 3 books. 2 old NaNoWriMo ones that I just dug up recently, and a new one called Speakeasy that I'm really excited about. And this is kind of the home for that, but this is giving me a great opportunity to experiment with different systems of working, and we're going to see which one ends up working out well and what I end up keeping and what I end up abandoning. So recently I discovered Zettelkasten for Fiction Writers by Victoria Crowder, and I am totally loving this book. It is a beast of a book, and it helps you make a Zettelkasten, which I will explain in a minute, but the process involves making a whole lot of index cards, and that has taken me for freaking ever. But what I have done is, well, let's back up. The idea of a Zettelkasten is that it is a sort of a second brain. And you are putting all of your ideas, all of your research, character ideas, everything on index cards and indexing them so that you can find little bits of what you've thought of before. And then also in the process, because it's analog, you might see one thing behind a card that you were looking for and make all sorts of interesting connections, as opposed to a digital note system which is just a black hole. So first of all, who thought this was a great idea for a children's show? Yeah, not so much. So this is my writing Zettelkasten, which I am calling, I believe, Possum Queen, after this little lady here. I have another box at home that contains sort of all of the general research from all of the books that I'm reading and just everything I come across. This is just from this book, another book, and placeholders for characters and ideas and experiences and things that I come across. So when I find them, I can stick them in here. Let's see, for example, this one says, let's see, a weather challenge. Okay. So if I were stuck on the highway in a flash rainstorm, I might just write on an index card my impressions, words that I come across, things that happened, feelings, and then put it behind this card as reference, so that later on, if I happen to be writing a scene where there is somebody getting stuck in a storm, I could just pull that card and immediately take out those details. But so this is the big primary Zettelkasten for the process of writing and also all of my projects. And so we've got the index, and we've got bibliography cards referring to the books, writing related books that I might be reading. And so all 3 books will eventually go in here, but I think I'm going to have to move some stuff or figure that out, because this is already pretty full and I haven't started filling it. But anyway, this is my writing Zettelkasten, which is going to hopefully be good use for this project. So this is my plot box for my new book, Speakeasy, that I've made according to the structure in Victoria's book. And right now, all I have in it is the plot beats, and that is wonderful Boss Mank howling behind me, making sure I'm properly supervised. So I've got the plot beats here. I've got some spare index cards, the space for the locations, characters, and all of the stuff that I need to populate in order to actually write this book. So I'm going to work with this in conjunction with Scrivener, and we'll see how that works for this book. So because I found all sorts of cool stuff before I discovered the fiction for Zettelkasters and the idea of the plot box, I had also gotten this Storyteller's Workbook, which I really like the aesthetics of. and it also does lay quite flat. I was thinking of taking out the binder and putting in discs, but it does work well, I think. So I think partially in the spirit of just wanting to use what I have, and partially because I think it would be cool to experiment with different ways of doing things, I'm going to use this for the young adult trilogy, called, the first book of which is called Glow, because I basically already written that. I need to do a good amount of editing and character and plot development, but I'm not at the stage where I'm brainstorming things and like trying to figure out like, what plot point would that be? Oh, do I have this plot point? Do I need this one? So instead, I'm going to basically just flesh it out in this book and really just kind of make sure I know what I'm doing, and flesh out the characters and make sure stuff is in the right order. But yeah, I really do just kind of want to play around with this book and see whether it works for me. I kind of doubt that I'm going to use this again for other books, but I think partially as a way to keep the different projects separate, this will be a neat experience. So meanwhile, there's that other NaNoWriMo book that I was working on, tentatively titled Meat Bingo Monkey. There is meat bingo, there is monkeys. We'll go into that later. And I had this chic sparrow leather cover, and then I also found this like card that you can see the plastic insert that actually, and it's full of, and it comes with these plastic 3x5 index card things. I think it's like a recipe book. It's meant to be a recipe book, but it fits perfectly in this book, and it actually gives the spine a pretty good solidity. But so anyway, Meat Bingo Monkey is going to be in here, and again, I've got that all written. At this point, like, I find it really entertaining, but I don't know yet whether anyone else will find it entertaining. And there's also a good amount of work that I expect that needs to be done on it. But what I've done was I have written the chapters on different cards, and there's 4 different perspectives. It alternates from 4 different perspectives, 2 female and 2 male. So I've got the different points of view on the different cards, and this is the order. So I've got that, and then I've got 2 books in the back where I can work out timelines and character information and stuff like that. So this is sort of project number 3, a completely different way of working, and we will see how well that one works. So I work on my books in Scrivener, and I've got one file for each document. These are all divided. The older ones are divided into a 3-act structure, and the new one is still kind of a mess because I haven't really figured out. I haven't really written much of it because I've been planning all sorts of stuff and getting all sorts of supporting structures ready. But this is mostly where I do my work. This is my setup for when I'm actually really writing, which fortunately I'm not, because the cat is going to completely fuck this up right now. This is my quirky writer and my iPad. And this is really great for just plain writing. I love the feel of the keys, which I would make go clackety clack now, but I would have to put this phone down. And this is Bastet. Isn't she just the sweetest thing? Oh my God. And this is also why I don't get work done. And the final element of the puzzle, I have 3 accordion files with the sections labeled according to Derek Murphy's plot outline, one for each book. And the idea is that when I print the books out with the chapters for editing, the sections will go in each of these little slots. They're all just living here for the moment, but each one of these is pretty portable and fits nicely in a messenger bag for travel.